What is the role of similar triangles in cartography? Imagine trying to map out a vast mountain range or a wide river without walking every inch of it. How do mapmakers do that? Well, they relying on a special kind of triangle called similar triangles. These triangles are like tiny copies of larger ones, sharing the same shape but not necessarily the same size. Their angles are equal, and their sides are proportional. This means if you know some measurements in one triangle, you can find others in the similar triangle using simple ratios. In cartography, or map-making, similar triangles are used to create scaled-down versions of real-world objects. For example, if a surveyor wants to measure the height of a mountain but can't climb it, they can set up a small triangle on the ground. They measure the distance from their position to a point on the mountain and the angle of elevation. Then, they draw a similar, smaller triangle using those measurements. Because the triangles are similar, the ratios of their sides are the same. This allows the surveyor to calculate the mountain's height indirectly, without climbing it or using complicated equipment. Similarly, if they want to find the width of a river, they can use a similar triangle formed by their line of sight and some accessible points on either bank. By measuring the angles and the distance between those points, they can set up a proportional relationship. This way, they can determine the width of the river without crossing it or using a boat. This method is very useful because direct measurement is often impossible or too difficult in the field. Instead, mapmakers and surveyors use the properties of similar triangles to translate real-world distances into scaled measurements on a map. They can also ensure the shapes and angles on the map are accurate representations of the actual terrain. In map projection, similar triangles help maintain the correct perspective and proportions. This keeps the shapes and angles consistent, so the map looks realistic and reliable. When cartographers use similar triangles, they are essentially solving geometric puzzles that turn complex terrains into simple, manageable shapes. To sum up, similar triangles help in cartography by allowing the creation of accurate scale maps, enabling indirect measurements of inaccessible distances and heights, and ensuring the shapes and angles on maps are proportional to real-world features. They make mapping large, complicated areas much easier and more precise.